Welcome everybody back to another BOLDcast One Piece reaction. I'm Carson.
I'm Lindsay.
This is One Piece episodes 504 and 505. We're getting right into this. Leave a like, subscribe, check out Patreon to get 2 weeks ahead of uncuts, 1 week ahead of edited reactions. Let's go. What's this?
Sue.
Good job. What's this?
I don't know that one.
Oh, you haven't done that one yet. Lizzie started Duolingo, everybody. Zoro? Oh, Kuina and Zoro? Vankov? Yeah, Ivan.
Too busy, you didn't notice.
I wonder if he's meeting with their master?
Like following around the celestial dragons.
Baltigo.
Just fill up this place again immediately.
Well, good to know it was all for nothing.
Yeah. It's getting closer. It's the attack that you do if your enemy is standing directly in front of you. Like an inch in front of you. You pull that move, it hits them. In case you don't know what you're talking about. Oh. Now, why would you do that?
They're just so caught up in their pattern.
The show.
Just showing how different it is now that he's gone.
Yo, Sabo was a little bitch like you. Nice. Oh. Very
I like
nice.
how Ace's writing is so neat and then Luffy's is just all over the place. And then the craftsmanship where he has 2 crossed swords and then Luffy just has a flag.
Big bear.
It's that bear, same bear. Now he's gonna beat it? Maybe.
No way. Ow.
You'll lose your little brother too just because you're being stubborn.
Just open the door.
But you guys are part of your own kingdom. Well, at least that came true.
Unlikely, but.
I love that their signature weapon for like years has just been these lead pipes that they find in the junkyard.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you need the one with the L cap on the end, or else it's not right.
Damn, they totally killed that thing.
Oh my god.
Wasn't there like a, I don't know why that bug just reminded me of in Gleipnir. There was like a giant like bug thing like that.
It's a reference to this, I mean. Oh, Gleipnir. What a stain
classic.
on our life. The third show
that
or
OP's
second
a
show.
banger.
Yeah, that we ever watched.
Look at that. Whoa.
They're growing up. Whoa! And he has to leave now that he's 17, because he has to leave before he's 18. According to Sabo. And Lufster. I wish they could have hung out with Sabo for all those years. Instead, it would, like 7 whole years without Sabo.
Yeah.
So sad.
Is he leaving?
It's so sad knowing what happens. I'm gonna cry. Oh, all the pirates or the bandits are a little bit older looking.
人知れず成長した海賊王の息子エースの海岸より静かに出港した。
Very nice.
まったくガープのやつがなんと言う。
Garp, when he comes back and notices that everyone was an accomplice to this.
Garp somehow surprised after, you know, like after all this time. Shows up, beats the shit out of them. Oh, she's really sad.
I thought that she was there, but I guess not.
She wasn't. It was the other big guy. From when he was a baby. Oh.
エースのやつ結局ガープに怒られるのは私だよ。クソガキだった。お、そうやエースからお頭に伝言が。何よ、最後の最後まで私に文句がある。出番になった。ありがとうって。
Oh, their little things didn't get. I thought they would have got destroyed, or like they would probably would have taken them down, but. He had a shirt before that just said Tamago, just like a bird coming out of an egg, and Tamago means egg. And now he has a shirt that says Taka. It's like hawk.
Look at that. How could you kill Sabo for a second time? Gonna be about Ace.
His bounty.
Oh. We gonna actually see him leaving?
I guess.
村長と牧野はよかつらがビビっちまうだろう。私らが山を降りたら。
Oh, he wants to leave,
Oh, he wants
like,
to leave
from the...
from Windmill Village.
Look at those cows again. Oh.
Hence.
With the barrel.
The mayor's all gray now. He fucking fell fast. He looked fine when Ace left.
Yeah.
Now he's looking old.
You didn't do a good job of watching over him. He sank immediately.
Well, to be fair, he just refused like a fishing
Yeah.
boat. Instead, he took like a little skiff. A challenge. launches out into the ocean.
I love how he was offered a better boat.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Well, he needed to get his own boat. And then he found the Mary. Maybe he would have found the Mary if he had that little shitty boat.
Well, he swiped a different boat before the Mary.
Technically, Nami swiped a different boat, and then they took up with her. This fucker again?
Same. Just saying goodbye.
Is he gonna tell it to fuck off, and it's gonna be like how Shanks did it? But he's like, ah, what was that about? I don't
He's
know.
gonna punch it.
Oh, like the first OP! Like the first OP! Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah. Show that he's improved. Yeah.
The secret technique.
Look, I've been training how to punch and actually hit my target for 10 years.
Reaches back to shore. Get me out of here!
Very nice. And this is actually what capsizes the boat. He's like in the barrel. Everyone's on the shore is like, no, Luffy, come back. He's like, no.
What a good way to like close the loop, because that's exactly where Ace lost, or Shanks lost his arm. I really hope he comes back to visit her now that everyone's dead. Oh no.
Did we have to come back here?
I don't want to come back to this, man.
Yeah, it was already bad enough that Sabo was dead. But now we're just right back in this.
It was so triumphant.
Yeah,
but that's the tragedy of it, is that it all ends with that. Like, you know, after everything and all how hopeful they were, it all just fucking goes down the shitter.
It's nice when they're leaving. I like how Ace leaves with a nice boat. Like, he takes that. I don't know if he built it or if they just gave him one also. But, like, I just love this thing. How they're like, no, don't take that boat. It's really bad. And he's like, I don't care. And then obviously we know that it capsized, like, relatively quickly.
It comes out of a barrel, which is that barrel right there, clearly.
Luckily, someone put that on there.
It's probably full of fish or something, full of meat. And then,
really
yeah, so he, so clear. I like how they put that detail. They didn't forget. Because he washes up in a barrel in like this crazy kind of almost like mystical fairy tale way. He like this monkey boy washes up in a boat or in a barrel, and they draw the barrel. But
what a nice little episode, kind of wrapping this up. Dadan getting all sad and Ace leaving. I like that little montage of them kind of growing up. And you know, if there's one thing that Ace was, it was loyal to his shoes. Bro had the same shoes.
He did? You noticed?
The entire, other than right
shoes?
there, he didn't have those shoes. But somehow, this is the only shot that he didn't have those same fucking, like...
I mean, there wasn't exactly, like, a fucking Reebok, you know?
No,
like,
but no, his shoes just always...
These people are wearing bags.
Hold on. His shoes just always struck me as being very different because they remind me... I don't know if anyone remembers back in, like, 2012 when, like... I think it was Tom's brand of shoes was like so popular. It's literally like Ace's style of shoes.
I'm struggling to find a single picture of his shoes. I'm seeing Luffy's sandals.
Ever since he was in Impel Down and then they gave him those shoes, I've been so aware of his shoes and I don't know why.
Well, the thing about animation is because it's harder to composite them on the background, they hardly ever draw people with fucking feet unless they're like the main character.
Yeah.
Because look, like even the bottom of these people's feet are occluded by this back, which by the way is like spliced and then repeated. Like it's, by the way. So, yeah, so you take that for what it will. It's clearly like they cut it poorly there. But anyway, you'll notice a lot of those in One Piece, honestly, if you really look. Especially post HD, I noticed. Anyway, yeah, and see even here, they're crossed. Like, where are these fucking magical shoes you're talking about? Like every shot is taken care, other than shots of Luffy, to remove feet because it looks awkward unless they're really far away and you can't avoid it.
God. There was a lot of shots of it in this little moment here.
Oh wait, there you go. Oh, what, those like slippers?
Yeah. like slip-on shoes.
Okay.
Because he had them up until the day he died.
He had them on the day he died as well?
Yeah, they showed multiple shots of him, like, when he was walking, like, to his execution. They, like, very clearly focused in on his shoes. And then that's why when he was a kid and he had the same shoes, because I just thought that they were, like, shoes, like, that were given to him, like, oh, these are whatever shoes were lying around that we had at the prison. These are our, like, coming out of prison shoes. But then he had the same shoes when he was a kid. So then I was like, damn. It's not that big of a deal. And in fact, I think he might have even been wearing different shoes in Alabasta. I think he might have been wearing more like the boots that he was wearing in that one shot.
Maybe that's why they cut, maybe that's what his design here is more like.
I just remember
let's look at him on the boat, actually.
He's wearing the boots.
Yeah, he must be wearing the boots.
Because like the boots go with like his whole aesthetic, and then I remember thinking like, oh, it's first of all, I remember thinking when they put on shoes for him, I was like, it's weird that they would even bother to put shoes on him.
I love his bag, by the way, as well. Mm-hmm. His backpack thing with like the.
Yeah, I thought that it was weird that they even bothered to like give him shoes since he's going to his execution, but like maybe it was a thing. And then I just assumed that they weren't like his shoes, like they weren't shoes that he would have picked out from himself, judging by his style. But maybe, honestly, like, this obviously came after, but maybe they put him in those shoes just because he'd been drawing him so much with those shoes, like, at the execution, because there was, like, many, like, shots of him, like, walking.
Well, the thing also is that if you look at Ace when he was introduced in Alabasta, we first see him, by the way, and his hat's black, and he's wearing all black. But it's also, again, it's manga to anime, and it's the first time we see the design, so it's, like... it could just be like, it's manga, there's no color generally. Mm-hmm. So, and sometimes manga have different colorings than anime, especially when the anime is first getting started. And then sometimes the anime coloring can influence the way that the manga is colored, say for like a magazine cover or something like that. Anyway, my point is that from Alabasta era Ace to Marineford era Ace or Bonero Island Ace, completely different design, because not just because he was stripped of all of his equipment and everything when he got imprisoned, but just because of the era and clearly a difference in, like, there's a lot you can tell about like a mangaka's thoughts on a character or a part of their series in the way that they change or draw their new designs. Like, like there's a lot implicit in that. The fact that Ace was this like untouchable badass looking dude earlier, which I think even when he was first introduced, I think we talked about the possibility that either he or Shanks will like die or be sacrificed for Luffy's growth or something like that. Anyway, so maybe that was always the plan from the beginning. In fact, I would reckon that it is, but the way that he's used in the story, I guess, is different in Alabasta, where he's just this crazy badass cool guy, versus in Marineford, where he is a lot more tragic of a character. So I think the design kind of reflects that, but because of that, maybe that's what I mean by this implicit kind of thing that's present in the design, and why you notice the shoes. It's like, what's up with these fucking shoes? It's because when he's badass Ace, he's got these boots on. When he's a kid and he's learning and he has more depth to his character the more that we get into it, and that's being informed to us. His design change and it's simpler, and then we get these like slippers and stuff like that, and he's kind of in training or being executed. Anyway, what I guess the point of all of this is that you're kind of weird for noticing that detail, but you're also not, because they had to think of...
Yeah.
They had to be thinking of something when they drew the shoes, whether they were thinking about what the shoes convey about the character, like super hardcore, like we have to do in order to break it down, or whether they were just thinking about something they want to convey and then draw him with like different shoes, just sort of incidentally. I think it's all communicative. It all means something. So even if it's not meant to mean something, it just by going in a direction, things garner meaning because of that. So that's some character design lore for you, but I really love that we finally saw him punching this sea king.
Yeah, that's
because it really closes the loop with his whole thing. And this is like, if since we're talking about like writing and craft here for a moment, if I could just take like a minute to talk about this. We've strayed away from talking about One Piece like it's a breakdown a lot, like in the last little while, and honestly I think it's helped us kind of immerse ourselves in it a little bit more, to be 100% honest. We've been like holding on to thoughts like that and saving them for like a future podcast or something like that. in this case, I want to talk about this because we talked about a lot of times when we would go through arcs, especially early on in One Piece, like when we first get into the Grand Line, we talk about trying to break down how Oda thinks about arcs or thinks about plotting. And what we kind of like got, the idea that we kind of got and that we landed on is that it seems like what Oda does is he has like maybe a few keywords and like a few things or motifs that he wants to explore, like whether it's, okay, this is all about kings and princesses and princes, or this is about Halloween, or this is about doctors. So then everything is, we need a doctor. Everything about this part of the story is about a doctor. Like he'd have these kind of like, okay, this is about this is about this, and he'd kind of chain them together, island by island, arc by arc. So like there'd be overlap with the next one, or like he'd introduce something and a character would sort of embody something, and then the next arc there'd be like a bigger reveal where he'd get a taste of it and kind of figure out what he wanted to communicate, and then sort of by the end of the arc or the next arc, he would have a much more well-rounded version of what he already kind of did before. And that's why I think a lot of people think that some of One Piece can feel repetitive, and then why we felt like a lot of early Grand Line stuff felt kind of repetitive. There's obviously a lot of differences, but it's iterative on itself each time. But another thing that we always talked about was he would have these sort of motifs or things that he would want to like repeat, and they would chain together. But the other element that it seemed like he would focus on when headed into a big arc, and especially if you can notice looking back, is that he would have these big set pieces, these big moments. Like he would sort of frame an entire arc around one big moment, like Robin saying she wants to live, or what are some other big ones? Luffy like destroying the storm against Eneru or whatever, where he's like he's like pushing away the storm, and it's like everything is building up to like this big crazy moment. What are some other ones? What's one more that we can go to? I mean, Ace dying.
Yeah, I feel like that's a lot. Like,
or how about this? The One Piece is real. Like, all of it is leading up to the One Piece is real, and then things like, and I think why Marineford was so good is there was multiple of those, like Ace dying, One Piece is real, Shanks and Blackbeard getting the Devil Fruit. All of these things were like these big moments that he clearly had planned and were the reason for the arc. And that's probably why Marineford is, I imagine, remembered so fondly, is because, most arcs have one big moment. Marineford had a bunch in a row, and it was crazy, and it felt like it was so crazy because it was like many different things. Anyway, you can look at all of One Piece arcs, and they feel kind of repetitive at times, or like they're 70% the same as the last one, but different enough to where it justifies itself. But my point in all of this is just to say that we haven't been talking about One Piece through this lens recently, but to talk about this moment of Luffy punching the Sea King doesn't feel like it was just a callback to the OP. This feels like it was probably what Oda had imagined Luffy doing when he left as a pirate initially. From the very beginning. This is one of those things, like that moment that was probably in his mind, this like snapshot of Luffy leaves Windmill Village on a boat, and then he punches that Sea King that took, I imagine the same Sea King. It could just be another one.
He did say it was like the local Sea King.
I think the idea is that it's the same one, and it's closing the loop, then showing that he is strong enough to go out on his own this time.
And it's showing as well, I think, that Shanks... Shanks didn't get his arm bitten off because Shanks was so much weaker than the Sea King.
It was a choice.
And he...
And Claire, this shows that.
Yeah, it shows that, like, okay, a 17-year-old kid landing his first ever punch against a real live opponent was able to take out this Sea King. So, if Luffy hadn't been there and it had just been, like, the Sea King was coming at Shanks, he could have defeated it. And we always knew that. But it just shows that, like, this is not even... that powerful of a Sea King. This is like a pretty low, like we've seen way crazier ones later on, especially in the Grand Line. But I don't know. It is just nice. It shows how much he's grown. And it's like originally he's in the water and he kind of can't get past the Sea King, and then now he can get past it. It's like this was like his barrier to. It's like you can't leave.
This was the boss in the starting area
as well. that him and Ace's decision to wait till they were 17 was the right decision, that they shouldn't leave sooner because they aren't ready yet.
And maybe they forgot that as it went on.
And that's kind of how...
Or Luffy forgot that as it went on.
I guess it's just like, because like Sabo was just still 10 years old and he tried to leave and he didn't make it. So then it's like, okay, we'll wait till we're 17.
And he didn't get eaten by the Sea King.
And he needed that entire time, because even a year before this, he wouldn't have been able to punch that Sea King and get out, you know?
Yeah.
He would have just got eaten.
Yeah. And, you know, sometimes maybe restraint isn't always your enemy, you know, because it feels like, you know, Luffy's just been running. Luffy's been W-keying the Grand Line this whole time, and it worked up until the last, like, few islands, and it's been a complete disaster. Like, every single time he's been completely outmatched. And maybe thinking back on all of this, maybe Luffy's gonna realize that, or think about it a little bit more and be like, I need another 7-year training arc or something equivalent, you know? Probably not that long, but like maybe he will. Maybe this is where we get a time skip or something.
Or I mean, also a lot of this focus. You know, I know it was like sort of the filler arc, or like the anime canon part where Ace, Sabo, and Luffy need to work together to defeat the tiger. But you know that's kind of another theme, is like he needs to now get his crew back, because you know he tried to do this alone. Obviously he had help from people that he met in Impel Down, and you know Mr. 3, Crocodile, like, you know, all these people were helping him, but it wasn't his crew at the end of the day, and he'll need them back.
Yeah, because Ace was talking about that when Luffy got destroyed by that bear.
Yeah.
And they kind of tied in the anime canon that way, where it was an example of needing teamwork. And I imagine that's kind of what this little scene here. I wonder if this scene is anime canon, where Luffy gets injured or whatever.
Yeah, I was wondering that as well.
If it's not, if it is anime canon, I still like it, obviously, because I like the anime canon regardless. But I like this, if the scene is fully filler, it's good, because it sort of justifies all that. If this scene of Ace carrying Luffy back and being like, oh, Luffy, it's my fault, I didn't help him, or whatever, like I was whatever, but they use the anime canon to like inform
Support
that scene,
that,
that's
yeah.
honestly good too, and that shows like that it was a good little piece of filler, and it wasn't even that long. It was just to hammer home that you can't do it alone, and that the One Piece is probably friendship. Sorry, guys. Anyway. And then I just wanted to go back to the very start with all the stuff with Zoro. So I just want to, because they described kind of a little bit where they are in the world. Somewhere in the East Blue. So they don't really describe how close Zoro grew up to Luffy, but that it's somewhere.
Somewhat close in the scheme of the entire world.
Yeah. Probably, I mean, close enough for them to be... So they showed up at Zoro's dojo to get some supplies.
And also so the dragon could go see what the celestial dragons were up to.
Right. Also, just a thing, Dragon's ship being Shenlong, or a depiction of, again, that like Chinese dragon that I was talking about. It's a Chinese symbol. And it's the symbol, it's the same dragon that's used as, again, this is like a shonen sort of development as a genre thing, where One Piece, this like successor, you could say, to the Dragon Ball Z era of shonen, using for Dragon's ship the father of the main character being an image of the Dragon Balls that comes out of the Dragon Balls to grant your wish. I think that's really interesting, and it maybe lends also to the mythical Zoan aspect that we were talking about with Dragon. The fact that this seems to be like, it's drawn somewhat similarly, but it's depicting like a similar kind of idea, and I don't think it's on accident. That's very bad. Treat him now. Did he not have the scar before? I thought he did. He had like the marking on his face, because they're like, what are they pointing to? What happened? They're like looking at his body.
If it was just his face, that would be weird, because then that would mean that this was before, but I didn't think that it was.
I didn't think it was either.
He must have just gotten hurt somehow.
Did he had it in the flashback before this, right?
Yeah.
When Ivankov was talking to or thinking about dragon like looking east.
Yeah.
He had it then, right?
Yeah, he definitely had it then.
Are you sure?
I'm like almost 100% positive. Because or else we would have made a huge deal that he didn't have it.
Yeah, it was in a thumbnail, so luckily we could just go back and look real quick. Yeah, he did have it.
Yeah.
He did. He absolutely had it. Then I wonder what they're talking about. I wonder if he had like a crazy fight that we didn't see. Okay. I feel like there's gonna be, we gotta remember that there's something wrong with him. We don't know what it was, whether it was an injury or some kind of weird shit. Treat him now implies that he was like hurt, but they specifically did not show us what was wrong with him.
Kind of fine, honestly.
Yeah, but I think that's probably maybe something to do with his power. If I'm gonna throw out a crazy theory, crazy wild theory, maybe dragon among, like, say if he's a mythical Zoan, maybe he has some kind of wild ability to heal, and he saved Sabo because he was there when the Celestial Dragon ceremony happened. See, he obviously saved Sabo before, but maybe if he saved for the Celestial Dragon ceremony, he might have seen Sabo get blown up. In which case, he might have gone to save him. Maybe he takes on a physical malady after like saving people, almost like a Nen exorcist type thing. And maybe it's temporary, maybe it's permanent, and maybe it's an element of what's on his face. Maybe he is, it's a mark from using an ability of some kind. Full speculation, no real grounds for that at all, other than, it's possible that Sabo might be alive in like a crazy twist of fate, although it does seem that like he's really dead.
I want Sabo to be alive.
In other words, I want Sabo to be alive. Yeah. But it is crazy. So what this also is saying is that I'm pretty sure he's connected by land. This place in Windmill Village. It might be on the other side of like a continent or a large island or something like that, because there's like mountains and it stretches over the area.
I think so. I thought that we kind of saw that the Goa Kingdom was just like one.
I thought we saw it was like on the side of I don't think we saw that it was a separate island, did we? Am I crazy?
I thought so, but maybe I'm crazy.
Yeah, it just kind of fades off into the distance. Like, it looks like it just goes to sky. Maybe this is the west and then these guys are in the east. Just speculation, or somewhere else, because they're sailing and then dragon showed up on the ship.
My thoughts. Oh, well, I mean, like, maybe. I guess my thoughts were that the Celestial Dragon is probably on, like, making the rounds. Like, yeah, going on a tour.
That's possible.
And then Dragon was, like, kind of going to the same places. So it's just, like, this is, like, the next one on this, like, road trip by water kind of thing.
That's possible. That's yeah, I think that, I think that's possible. I think that what I'm getting at is why show Zoro's thing at all? Just to show that it's connected? Why show that it's connected?
Potentially, if we're gonna be getting more like dragon stuff, and like they don't show his whatever his injury was, and they are talking about the Celestial Dragons, we know, and then the Celestial Dragons going around, we know that like whatever dragon saw here made him be like, okay, it's time to roll out kind of thing. Like, I've seen enough. So maybe I mean, it's been a while. Like Zoro was one of the first people that we kind of got into the crew. Right now we're doing Fishman Island, which is kind of bringing it back to Nami. So maybe whatever happens next after that is going to be bringing it back to Zoro, and we're going to find out something more about here. Maybe. Or we'll find out more about Dragon.
Maybe it's literally just way simpler, and it's just because Zoro and Luffy met first.
Yeah, and maybe it's even just because people like Zoro and we haven't seen him for a while, so it's like let's throw in Kid Zoro just to spice it up.
Sprinkle it in there a little bit. Yeah, that could be possible. Yeah. Anyway. Leave a like, subscribe, moving on to the next one. Here's the Navy. Oh, Garp. Garp's back to the old days of just fucking up pirates left and right.
Oh.
Oh, she learned about Ace. And they're very brazen, just go into her bar now.
I'll bandage up.
They were all
I
amateurs.
killed them.
Yeah. He's looking all like heroic, but his eyes are all sharp. They don't have enough sake up in the mountains. She's drinking herself into a stupor.
Oh. He's gonna be
She's gonna
pissed
fight
that
him.
he didn't.
And he just takes it. What a cruel thing.
Yeah.
You force a baby on a woman, make her raise it for 17 years, just to get it killed. I think he wanted to get hit. I think that's why he came here. He's not taking it harder than anyone.
The clothes that she gave them. No. No, Luffy.
I just had the thought, first of all, it was really sad. It never occurred to me that Dadan could be Garp's wife, like Dragon's mom, and that's why he hasn't turned her in. Just because maybe they had like a star-crossed lovers kind of romance when they were younger.
I feel like maybe, but I feel like she wouldn't be Dragon's mom, because or else she wouldn't be like, oh, why are you sticking me with my own grandson? She's like, oh, another fucking rando kid that you're throwing in my door.
That's a good point.
I would think maybe, and I would have thought definitely, but just based on
how she reacted getting Luffy.
Yeah.
It's different.
It's different. It's like her being like, why the hell are you giving me Ace randomly is one thing, but you know, if it was your own grandkid, I feel like you'd feel different. And we know that she obviously does care, but the initial reaction.
Well, maybe it's his wife's like sister or something. Like maybe they have some kind of deeper tie than that. That like makes him.
What if it's just Garp's sister?
Maybe that could be it. And maybe like they don't acknowledge their like bloodline because of his status in the Navy. Like he can't be like related to somebody who's a bandit or whatever, who has like a criminal record, and it would like tarnish the Navy's reputation, or like they'd come after her or not, you know, something like that. Maybe, I don't know, maybe there's something more there, maybe there's not, and she's just a woman. I think it's fine either way, but it's what a terrible thing, but to stick her with Ace from the time he's a literal
After
baby.
She already watched her like sob, like she didn't have Sabo for very long, but she like kind of adopted him right away, and then he died like within a year, and that was bad enough. Yeah, and then Ace,
and then
and not only that, and then also Luffy, and then she, you know, it's just like she's just imagining like, you know, poor Ace and poor everyone who has to be sad about Ace, but poor Luffy. Because he's still alive and has to deal with that.
I do wonder if they're gonna go by submarine to the East Blue. Could they do that? I feel like they could, because they go through Reverse Mountain, then they come out again the east side of Reverse Mountain. So they're just
well, they could potentially go
comm
through
belt away.
Yeah,
they're a comm belt away from the East Blue, which means they could technically show up here before they go to the New World or Fishman Island, but we'll see. Far away in the in the New World. Shinsekai. Oh, what the hell is this? Shanks. Marco. Captain Roger. That was a really cool scene. This episode's so heavy. Oh my god, it's about to get heavier.
Ow.
ティーチを追っていたこれに弟に会ったんだ。アラバスタ王国で染め合って俺は安心した。なぜだと思う？
Because he was strong? This is when he remembers his friends.
Mm-hmm. Cute little chopper. Whoa. Hmm. Hmm. Oh. Oh. No. I want to see them too.
Me too.
It's been
And
so
Vivi.
long. Yeah, can we get Vivi back?
Yeah. Vivi should join up. And Karoo. Be my Karoo. Oh, look at the sun on Sanji's thing here. It's almost like the tattoo a little bit.
Very good episode. Jinbei, the absolute goat yet again.
And the funeral for
Yeah, with so many people there too. All Whitebeard's crew and
commanders.
Yeah.
So crazy. Did they say where they were? Just somewhere in the New World.
Yeah, somewhere in the New World. I wonder
It'll
if we're
be-
gonna like come.
We're gonna
across
show
that
up there.
at some
Yeah,
point.
we're probably gonna we'll show up there sometime. We're in the New World and visit their grave. I don't even know if I have anything to say. It's just so good. I really hope we get to see everybody. We all come back together. Stuff, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. And yeah, that the first half of the episode would like, yeah.
We already kind of talked about it.
We already talked about it, but I just wanted to say again that it was so good.
Leave a like, subscribe. See you next one, Carson.
I'm Lindsay.
Bye-bye.